Hi, how you guys doing? I'm Josh, and I'm going to show you some CSS3 animations. I hope you enjoy. First of all, let's look at our CSS. Well, let's look at what the result's going to be. Here we have a web page. You may be familiar with it. Hopefully you're looking at it right now. What you do is, every time you click, you get a little icon. Or that little other thing that popped up. That was weird. Okay, so you get this little icon. Little coin. Right? Okay, so how do we do this? Anywhere you click, anywhere. There's coins. There's coins everywhere. I must have clicked something. It's coins. Coins for everyone. It's cool, right? Okay, how do you do it? I'm going to show you. Just relax. Relax, dude, relax. Okay. Well, first of all, let's go back before I show you. Before I show you the magic. Check this out. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. See this DOM stuff, right? This is using WordPress, so there's a bunch of shit injected, right? Okay, but when you click one, bam, what happens? Oh, and then it disappears. What you can't see is that it's creating a coin container, and inside that coin container is a coin div, and that coin div has CSS and everything like that. So, I gotta get some drink here. Mind the water? Not sponsored yet, but we'll see. I know 50 Cent drinks it, so. Okay. Now that you've had time to look at the code, uh, this is all CSS, right? We have a CSS, we have a coin container, and that coin container contains two animations, a rise and a fade, and then respectively we set the properties of each of those. So rise is normal, 1 second, one, ease out. Fade, normal, 1 second, one iteration, linear, right? Pretty straightforward if you know something about CSS3. If you don't, this may be super confusing to you. So, but this is the code. And then we have a position of absolute because we want it to be exactly where we clicked, and a z-index, that way it's on top of everything. This is a pretty high index. I know I don't think it's the max, but it's pretty high. And then we have a coin container, and the reason I have two separate divs, a div inside it, why don't you just do one div and have it do everything? I'll explain that later. Okay, so we got an animation named spin, normal, 1 second, do it one time, linear. And then this is the height and width of our little coin icon image, right? PNG. Yeah. Okay, so our rise, fade, and spin animations. Here's the rise. All it's doing is taking the element, translating it up to 100 pixels at 90% and 110 pixels at 10%. Why did I do it this way? You know, I could cut this out if I wanted to, and it would just go from 0, it'd shoot from 0 to 110, but I wanted it to end a little slower. So you can see a little tiny bit that it stops there at the end. It slows down toward the end. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's like 1% difference or something. Because 0 to 90, it's going 100 pixels per, you know, whatever. I guess you could say almost 100 pixels per second, because it's 1 second. And then the last 10%, it moves 10 pixels. So it's super slight. So, I mean, not noticeable, but play with the numbers and you can get an effect that you like. And then with our fade, again, I added a little property in there so it didn't fade. You know, I could have made this 1 actually and had it constant all the way in at the end, and then the last 25% is where the fade effect happens. So this truly is where, well, okay, take that back, it's not truly. Fade is happening here, you know, from 1 to 0.8, which is very subtle. You can't even you can't notice it or whatever. It's at that last 25% from 70, it fades. Okay. Again, you got to think of these as steps, right? So if I put 1, if I deleted this and it went from 1 to 0, it would fade the whole way up. So if you just wanted to fade at the end, you know, like the last 10%, you would change this to 90, change this to 1. Let's just go ahead and do that. This would be 90, this would be 1. Go ahead and save that. And then we will look at it. Okay, I haven't updated it yet. Let me go here real quick. So I haven't refreshed yet. So you can see how it fades there. And now you can see how it fades. Fades totally different, right? Play it back in the loop, you'll see. I'm not gonna play it back in the loop, you'll see. Okay. I like it better the other way. Okay, so we'll put it back the other way. Okay, and then here's our spin. And that is only applied to the coin. I'll show you some things. Okay, so here's the spin. Basically, it's rotating on the y-axis, right? This is the reason that I have a separate container, because the property is WebKit transform, and I just want the coin, well, I want the coin to spin differently. So 0, 40, 80%, I want it to spin at this rate. I could put rotate Y up here in this transform and not have to create a separate, you know, effect, but then it would spin like slow here and then fast here. So I have a different spin ratio, you know, half the way it's going to spin this way, half the way it's going to spin that way. So it's a little different. So that's why it has to be done separately. And then also why I have to generate separate div containers, because I can only apply this property to one. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's take a look at the JavaScript where the element's being created. Okay, our main function we need to look at is this gen coin, or generate coin, if you want to say it longer. And then we have a function called get position that gets the position of your cursor. And then we also add an event listener to the document. That way, whenever we click, that happens, right? That's how you do it, right? This is how it's done. So every time I click on the document, what is it doing? It's generating a coin, getting my position, putting the coin at that position, and then the CSS does the rest. Okay? It's very simple, right? It's not that much code, huh? You got 46 lines of JavaScript and about 50 lines of CSS, and this could be optimized into a single call, and these could be optimized, you know, so stuff like that. You use Clojure and, or a CSS compiler and get this down to one line, you know. You get the point. Okay, so let's go over this code though. Okay, so first we create our coin container. And let me go ahead and no, I'll walk through this and then I'll show you later. And I'm getting a phone call, so hold on. Sorry. Okay, so let's take a look at the code here. We have a function generate coin where we create a coin container. We add a class name to it. We generate a unique ID using the date object and get time, and that'll create a unique ID for this purpose. Then we apply the ID to the container, and this is to delete it later. We create the coin itself, apply the class name, and append that to the coin container. Then we go ahead and get our position from the getPosition function, and all it does is get the XY of your cursor. So you can look into that more if you want, break this down. That's all it's doing. So then we apply the top and left to that container based off the position of your cursor, and we apply the image inside of the coin. Then we apply the coin container to the document body. Obviously done right here by document.body. Then we add a listener event to those coins because they have animations attached to them, and we use the event WebKit animation in and fire this function when that happens, and all it's doing is deleting the object. And right now we have a log so you can see the event happen, but make sure we can delete this. And it's not totally necessary, but we just do it to clean up the DOM. So let's take a look at it here. You can see that there's nothing here. Click it, gets appended, gets deleted. That's all that has to happen.